So, what would you say are your top tips for learning English?
Very good question. Okay, so the first thing is that you have to like it, because if you don't like it, anything you do will be very difficult.
Right.
And basically, you need to read, you need to listen, you need to watch movies to be exposed to the language as much as you can. I think that the first thing to do is to maybe watch a movie. You watch a short bit without subtitles. You see what you can get. And then you start again with subtitles to check if you understood correctly. And the next day or in the next few days, watch it again without subtitles to see if you can remember. That's a good a practice. You know, it helps a lot.
Do you think students should use subtitles in their own language or in English?
No, in English, of course, in English, yes.
Right.
And if there are any words they don't understand, they can check on a dictionary, and certainly they have to write down the words. They have to make their own list of words they don't know. They can do it by according to the topic, or in alphabetic order, or depending on, I don't know, they can divide it into verbs, nouns, adjectives. It depends on what works for them. Yeah. Or maybe even better, they can do all of this. So they repeat it, you know, they write the words in different sections. Sure. So they have them, you know, anytime they can check again and remember more.
Right. I really like the idea of taking notes and putting them in an organized way. I was also thinking it could be a good idea to make sentences with those words, so it could help remember it based on the context. Would you think that that could be a good idea as well?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. I think it's also a good idea to read a text and underline the words they don't know in different colors. Right. Maybe, you know, verbs in yellow, adjectives in red, I don't know. And also expressions, you know, fixed expressions that maybe with visual memory that helps a lot. Helps a lot. Right. Yeah.
Yes.
So they have them in context as well.
Right. Yeah. Those are really useful tips. I also believe that a lot of students struggle with speaking English as well, even if they have good vocabulary. Sometimes, for one reason or another, students feel stuck.
Yes, right.
Do you have any tips on how to get over that situation?
Yes, I think it would be a very good idea to record their own speaking. How to do that? I would suggest starting with reading. They read a text, loud of course, and they record their own voice, and then they listen and see how their accent, how their intonation goes, and practice with that, so they get more even confident with their own speaking in English, with their own voice, their own intonation, and they improve little by little. And then they can even try to not to read, but just to, you know, maybe make a summary of what they have just read. They say it, they record it, and then they listen again. So little by little, you know, the speaking practice, they will give the result.
Right. Yeah. I find these tips very useful, and I would suggest this to my students as well, because more often than not, a lot of students don't have access to an English course, or maybe people who are native speakers. So I think that would be a great way to listen to themselves speaking as well.
So I have some holiday booked, but I can't decide where to go. Do Do you have any advice?
Of course, but first, when is the holiday?
So it's going to be the end of April, early May.
Okay, so in spring.
In spring.
So
yeah.
the weather is more or less good, I think.
I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you going alone or you are going with someone?
No, just me. I like traveling alone. You can do what you want to do when you want to do it.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. And where do you prefer to go? Do you prefer to go like somewhere in the nature, or you want to go to a big city or?
Yeah, I'm not good with nature, so no nature. I like the beach, but I like cities as
Okay.
well. I enjoy sightseeing, looking around the city.
So what type of city do you prefer? Like an old city, so you can have a lot of monuments to visit, or a modern city with like a lot of nightlife and meeting people?
I'm old now, so unfortunately the nightlife is not as important as it used to be. I like old historical cities,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay, there are many countries I can recommend, but you can go somewhere near, so you don't have to spend a lot of money.
Okay.
Or you can go somewhere a bit more famous or exotic, but it depends on your budget. How much money do you think you can spend?
For 2 weeks, probably maybe 1,000, maybe 1,500.
Okay, so have you ever been to Budapest?
I have.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Sorry, I lived in Budapest. It's a very nice city.
Yeah, because
a very nice city.
For what you said, I think Budapest is a good match.
I would like to go back though. I did live there a long time ago, so it could be a good idea.
Budapest or Prague, maybe.
I have never been to Prague.
Yeah.
I've heard it's very nice.
Yeah, Prague is probably one of the most beautiful cities in Europe.
Okay.
So I think you're going to like it there.
Okay. And cheap beer.
Cheap beer, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cheap beer,
Always
beautiful city. Yeah, lots of things to visit. So yeah. Or maybe, okay, let me think. Paris, I think it's very romantic to go.
Maybe a bit depressing alone.
To go alone.
Okay.
I think, yeah. Or what about, I don't know, what about somewhere else? Or you're from England, so I think, England is out for a vacation, like you're not going home.
Okay.
But yeah, you can go somewhere in Italy.
Italy could be nice.
Yeah, to Rome.
To
Or
Rome.
to Florence.
Yeah.
It's full of history,
Okay.
full of culture. If you
Yeah.
like to see old monuments, or if you like to visit some famous people's houses or like museums like that, I highly recommend going to Florence or to Rome. Yes.
Okay. What about outside of Europe? Any suggestions?
Outside of Europe, well, you like the beach. Since you like the beach, I can recommend somewhere like Indonesia
Yeah.
or Bali.
Yeah.
The beach is amazing there, the nature is amazing, but the cities are like usually like their capitals are very, very big, cosmopolitans. Like,
Okay.
yeah, it's so
That could be nice
Yeah.
though.